Hi guys, welcome back to Fat Boys RC. How's it going out there in the real world? Now, over the last few days, I've been building the Tamiya TT01e racing truck. Now, I want to get into the racing down at the Medway RC Raceway, the logo, ping. I've been wanting to get all of these trucks for a while. Now, these trucks are brilliant. The body, though, is known as one of the hardest bodies to build in the Tamiya collection. So today I'm going to run through trimming out and painting the body shell. So let's get started. But before we do, remember, like, subscribe. You want to know anything, remember to ask. Right, we're going to need a few things to start with, right? One of the things we need is a decent cleaner. Now I'm using an Avery cleaner. This is one that I use in the sign industry. It's a degreaser and panel wipe, so it actually works very well cleaning out the Tamiya shells, getting rid of any excess oil and stops plasticizer migration into the paint. I'm going to use some white roll to clean it out. So you're going to need some form of lint-free cloth or good quality tissue, or it's not tissue, but paper to clean it out with. I'm also going to be using vinyl lining tape. Now I've made this, obviously I've got a sign company which I've mentioned before, cut vinyl into 10mm strips or 5mm strips in this case. I use them to edge. They actually work better on the edges of the paint than masking tape because it seals down tighter to the bodywork. Okay, and obviously I'm going to be needing some masking tape, so I have a roll of masking tape. When it comes to building the body, I'm going to be using the supplied tape that comes with Tamiya, but one of the problems we have with these is that sometimes after a few bashes and things, they start to flap about a bit. So I'm actually going to use also, this is what we call road tape. It's actually a VHB, a very high bond tape. It's rubberized, it's thick. I'm going to use some of that on the shell to hopefully battle things. I've seen other people using it, a sort of pop along video. And they also use shoe goo, which looks like a bloody good idea, which is a nice thick rubberized glue. But for this instance, I'm going to be trying the road tape. Okay, so stay tuned. We'll see what happens, eh? Right, in your box with your Tamiya, you'll get your sticker sheet, which I'm not going to use the sticker sheet because I'm going to go and do my own art on this one. I'm going to do some silly colours as well. So open up this bag though, and you'll find inside some paint masks. Now these are for the windows of your truck. So once your truck's cut out, you're going to use these to print. Right, you're going to need to cut this out some decent scissors. Now these are actually meant for the purpose. These are one set of curved scissors, one set of straight, and they are literally designed for cutting the tops out. Now when you look at a Tamiya TT01e truck top, let's move the car aside, you get the bottom. Now this is the actual truck body part, the bit that goes over the chassis, and got the wheels and everything on it. And if I bring you in tight there, you'll see there's actually lines to cut to follow. Okay. Then you get this part, which looks like a truck on its own, but it isn't. The front section of this is the cab. This section in the middle is the bumper. And then you have this bit here, which is the flap or the back of the cab. Okay, but all of this has to be cut out and stuck together. But before we do that, obviously we've got to cut it out and paint it. So let's get started, shall we? So I like to start off with my curved scissors. And I cut into the line. Obviously what we're going to do now, I'll cut around this shell and then we'll speed that up for you a little bit. So there you go. Right, so that is the first section cut out for the truck. And that's going on here. Right, obviously we're on to the next section now. So what I'm actually going to do with this next section, probably cut it into sections itself. Again, follow the lines. That's the second part. What we're going to do now, we're going to use our paint masks to mask off our windows. Now, depending on how accurate you want these, depends on you really. So Tamiya has provided you with these paint masks, but of course you do have to trim them out, which is odd really, because you think that they would want their models represented properly and they would actually supply you a kiss cut sheet. Never have understood why they do that, to be quite honest. But it's the same with the decals normally as well. Truck bed or the truck back, they've got the lots of the sort of engine type looking components to it. Now most in the racing world just literally do that bit black, so they mask it off and then do it black, which is what I'm going to do as well. Okay, so any areas I don't want to be black right at this moment in time are going to get masked off. Get our clean on, get the grease out of there, and in this instance, the blood, because I've actually bled on it. A bit of that up. This stuff's got isopropyl alcohol in it and degreaser and stuff like that. You don't have to do it with this kind of stuff, but I like to. Gets it nice and clean, gets rid of a lot of the rubbish out of the truck itself. What we do, we just let that off gas a bit. Give it a good clean up in all the joints, make sure you get everything out. You've got to decide what sort of colours you're going to do it. Now, if you watch the build video, you'll know what colour I'm going to do this. Recommended by Rich Baker at TJD Models. He recommended to me a lovely colour called Neon Carrot. Let's just bandage that finger up with a bit of masking tape, shall we? Right, so we've got our mask on now. That's all I've done. Just rough mask that one out completely because I'm just doing the black for now. Let's get this out of the way. Give it can shake up for a couple of minutes, shall we? Right, so we've got some black Tamiya spray. This is PS spray. This is a polycarbonate. You see on top of the tin it will say PS. That means it's for polycarbonate. Other ones like the Core RCs are for polycarbonate as well. But please make sure you get the right paint. You don't want to have problems with plasticizer migration or paint chip. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep that kind of vertical, 6 inches away. Nice, even spray. Right, not too much. Make sure you get a covering on all the areas. It's a nice light coat to start. Right, so that's a light coat on there. Now with the cab, we're going to go neon orange, neon carrot, as it were. So, same thing. Give that a good shake up. And get a nice coat on there. Same thing again, sort of 6 inches away. Keep it vertical if you can. Gonna get a carrot. So make sure everything gets a nice little coat on it. Right. a layer, right? It's still translucent. Leave it translucent. Let it sit. Let's go neon carrot. Oh, fuck God. Right, so they're sitting there like that. So that one's dry as well. Again, 6 inches away. Nice even coat. And leave it to dry. So that's going to sit there now for like 20 minutes. I'm just going to let that dry off. So we're getting a nice coat on there. It's going to be very leery. Right, I'll just pause you, go and get myself a nice cup of coffee. Let this dry a bit. Right, so we've waited there 20 minutes. Paint's nice and touch dry. Time for another coat. What I'm going to do is a little experiment. I'm going to do a bit of light black from a distance. And the idea is it's going to be dirt. So the truck's going to be dirty and oily on the bottom there. See that? Very, very light splurge of that, yeah? Let that go off a little bit. Drink a bit more coffee. And then I'm hitting that with bright pink. So the neon carrot is going to have a bright pink base. It's going to be funny. Alright, so wait there 20 minutes there. Let's hit it with some pink. Right, let's let that dry in. That's quite good actually. See that? Looks like dirt. Dirty truck. It's dirty. All the orange bits are drying nice. Right, back to the coffee. Right, now that we've waited for a bit, this is dry. Now, with colours like this, as you can see, they are still translucent. So what we do, we underpin these with a white or a silver, and in this instance, we're going to go white. Now this firms up the colour, bases it up. If you use silver, sometimes it can punch out a nice sort of metallic effect. But the white is literally just to strengthen the colour. So we just do an even coat again, making sure everything's got a little bit of a covering on it. It does actually punch the colour up straight away. That dry a bit. The question remains, do we do it on the pink? Yeah, I think we might. Right, so let's let that dry. Right, now the paint is now touch dry, so I'm going to do this. See, when you paint the shell, it looks a bit dodgy, but obviously, if you've done one of these before, you'll know this. But it's coated in a protective film. So when we pull the protective film, which is like that, that's just like cling film, where I like to say the magic happens. Well, that is bright. Everyone complains about my cars being blacked out of the track, saying they can't see it down the track. Odd really, seeing as my stickers are yellow. I think they'll see this one. That's about that for a colour. That is neon carrot. There you go, that's the window mask pulled off. There's our cab in neon carrot. Now you might notice I'm not putting mirrors or anything on this. No point really when you're racing because they get broken off in seconds. When I pull it off of my dirty truck, this is my dirty bit, or my dirty pink. It's going to make a big difference, I think. There is our dirty pink truck. As you can see, that's shiny as well. That looks pretty cool. I love the way that's coming out. We're going to have our orange cab on there. Our pink body. Pink Pony Club. It's going to look the most, to be honest with you. Please do know. Let me know what you think, guys. Just comment. Tell me how leery you think it is. If you hate it, if you love it, just let me know. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'll put them to the side now overnight. I'm going to let all the paint harden off and everything, and then I'll build the truck and put it on the body, and you will see. And then the next step will be for me to design some graphics for it, and that's all coming up in this video, so keep watching. So we'll have the whole truck body build and paint, and then some nice little stickers going on there. Not 100% sure in my head what I'm going to do. What I keep thinking Bugs Bunny, stuff like that, and obviously some play on words and stuff, bit of advertising for myself maybe, and we'll have a Larry TT01e truck to play with. Anyway, I'll keep watching, yeah, because we're going to just do that in a minute. Well, for you it's a minute, for me it's probably a day. Yeah. Right, it's been drying overnight. It's ready to go together now, people. We've got the bright orange cab. I've put a few little stickers on there. I'm not going over the top on it. A bit of a homage to Medway RC Raceway where I race. My logo there, Fat Boys RC. A little bit on the sides there for TJD models, which is where I bought the kit. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do to it really for this instance. So, right, you've got it built. Then you need to get the sticky stuff ready to get it put together. Now, you get your truck, you get your supplied tape. Now, on your instructions here, it shows you where to apply the tape. Now, you'll notice little blocks there, little blocks there, little blocks there. You then look at your truck, you will find that your truck actually has a little areas marked out kind of for where your tape goes. So it's literally just a matter of getting your tape. Now the foam tape for this part of the body. Stay within the lines if you can. One piece on. Another piece on. Now on the back of the cab here, I actually used my very high bond tape. That's because that's the area I've seen on the racetrack where everybody loses the back panel. It can be quite funny, but it's can be quite distressing as well if it's your model, I suppose. So there we go, got another piece going on there. Now, in the package, you are supplied with a couple of bits of extra thick spongy tape. Now, the extra thick spongy tape is to go on the front of the cab on these two squares. Again, if you look at your cab, square, square. Okay, so get your spongy tape, knock everything on the floor. This is so it's got a bit of a play, basically. So you've got those two bits there, those two bits there, and that's your spongy tape. So what you're going to do there is now peel off your tape, like so. You're now going to want to get your body ready to go on the truck. You might notice I didn't put the wing mirrors on this, as I stated earlier on in the video. I'm not going to do that because they just get ripped off in the first race. If you're doing it as a bit of a shelf queen, maybe you'll do it, you know. Your choice, really, at the end of the day. Right, line the cab up to where you want it to be. That's there. That one can go like that. Line it up on that one. That goes like that. Then pressure it in. You find a lot of these adhesives are pressure sensitive, so they actually activate when you push onto them. That part of the cab is stuck. Now I need to retrieve the piece of cab that I've just thrown on the floor. In a mo. And again, if you look at all the tape areas, it tells you on here for the front bumper, you want 3 along the front there, you want 2 there. Now, I'm doing one big one rather than 2 small ones. But now, I watched a Pop Along RC video on this the other day, and what they did, they actually got some shoe goo, which is like a rubberized silicone glue, and once they had the body on like this, they then went all over the joints with this. Now, that's a brilliant idea. I mean, that'll make it stick like anything. I'm not going to do that because my tape is super strong, so I'm going to use the super strong tape. So we're going to do that on the front bumper. We're going to need a nice strip across here, okay? And this stuff is really, really strong. We use it to put up signs. It is a little bit dark, so it does show through a bit, but not actually that fussy. So I've put one massive bit of double-sided VHB road sign tape on there. Now that stuff really does stick. So then we're going to line this up to where we want it to be, making sure we've got a nice line going on there. Remove the tape backing. let's get a stick in. So line it up, get your line, stick it in, line it up around this side. Make sure you get your line where you want it, stick it in, then we're going to stick that front. Now that's stuck on there, look. That is stuck. Within 24 hours, that won't move. I am quite lucky that I've got these tapes and things at hand. You can buy them if you want to buy them, but you know, most of the people down the club just come and nick mine. So that's the basic part of the cab in there. Right. Other things we might want to do, we might want to add some of the original stickers, just to tighten it up a little bit, make it look flash. I've made it very bright. That's the neon carrot, look, sticking out like a mile. Bit of red down the side, bit of pink on the back, bit of dirty oil kind of effect. So what I'll do, I'll turn you off now, and I'll chuck a couple of more stickers on it, and then we'll get a final look at it, okay? I'm just going to turn you off. Right, so there we go. The truck itself is pretty much built. The one thing I have got to do is stick that receiver back down, because I put the receiver onto the central brace and put the top on, and it doesn't fit if you have the central receiver on the central brace. So put that one on there. Stick the receiver down. Right, so now all I need to do is bind it all up, get it all going with the controller, and go racing, which I can't wait to go racing, to be quite honest with you. I've been looking forward to getting out with one of these trucks for a while. Right, so we've got some case pins down here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put the case on. The holes are actually pre-marked for you. You can. So inside this case, what you're going to use, inside, you actually reach inside to put the case on. Use the bigger case pins. Find the hole, push through. Same again here. That's on. And the back ones. So I'm going to have to do a bit of testing on this. There we have it. A TT01e racing truck. Done in neon carrot. Look at that glow, eh? Woo! Next thing to do, obviously, is to get it down the track, see how she runs. Right. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for sticking with me. If you've watched the whole thing, you should deserve a medal, because it's a very long video. If you watched a quick one, fair enough. As long as you give me some likes and subscribes, that's what I like. Well, stay tuned to Fat Boys RC to get more videos in the future. Thank you very much for watching this. See you later. Have a good time. Might see you down the racetrack. Bye-bye.